Consider a combination of T and D flip-flops connected as shown below. The output of the D flip-flop is connected to the input of the T flip-flop, and the output of the T flip-flop is connected to the input of the D flip-flop. Now this sequential circuit diagram is given. They are telling that initially both Q0 and Q1 are set to 1 before the first clock cycle. The outputs are, in the question they are asking what the outputs are after the third cycle and the fourth cycle, and 4 options are given. We need to choose the correct option. So this is a question from digital logic design regarding sequential circuits. We have been given this sequential circuit consisting of T flip-flop and D flip-flop, and we need to find out what the state would be after the third and fourth cycle. So we'll see how to solve this. So these are the characteristics of a T flip-flop and a D flip-flop. For a T flip-flop, if the input is 1, then after the next cycle it will perform a toggle operation. That is, whatever is stored in the T flip-flop, it will be toggling. So if it is 0, it will become 1. If it is 1, it will become 0 when the input is 1. If the input is 0, then it will just stay the same. That is, if the input is 0, if the T flip-flop is currently storing 0, then after the clock it will remain showing 0. And if it is storing 1, if the input is 0, it will keep on showing 1 only after the clock cycle. Whereas for the D flip-flop, it will just pass through whatever is the input. If the input is 0, then after the clock, the output will become 0. If the input is 1, then after the clock, it will be storing 1 only. Now, let us see how it proceeds. So, there are 2 flip-flops given here. Each flip-flop can have state 0 or 1. Meaning for 2, there are 4 states. That is given as 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Now, for each of these, we will find out after 1 clock what would be the next value, which I have given here as Q1 next and Q0 next, showing after the clock what would be the next value for this. Now let's take a look at the circuit here. Now we can see that D flip-flop's output is given to the input of T flip-flop. Before that, see that T flip-flop's output Q1 is given to the input of D flip-flop. So for D, the input is Q1, meaning after every clock cycle, whatever is Q1, that will become Q0, because D flip-flop after every clock, it will just do a pass-through of whatever is given as the input that will be stored in the D here. Meaning after every cycle, Q0 will become equal to Q1, which we can write directly here. So Q0 next will be just Q1. So Q1 is 0, 0, 1, 1, which I can just write straight here. Meaning after 1 cycle, this 0 will become Q0 next. So this I have just written directly here, 0, 0, 1, 1. Now let's look at the T flip-flop's input is Q0. So if Q0 is 0, Q1 will remain the same. Whatever is in Q1, that will be shown here. And if Q0 is 1, whatever is in Q1, that will be toggled for Q1 next. That I'll show here. So in these 2 states, Q0 is 0, meaning whatever is in Q1, that will become Q1 next. This I can write straight here, 0 and 1. And in these 2 cases, Q0 is 1, meaning we need to perform a toggle operation on whatever is in Q1. So here it is 1. Now we will toggle this, meaning Q1 next will become 1. Similarly here, Q1 is 1 and Q0 is the input, that is 1. So we will toggle this, meaning this will become 0. So these are the states, how the states move from 1 to next for each of the possible configuration, that is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. These would be the next states. So we will draw the transition diagram and see how it proceeds. Suppose let us take the state 1, 1. For 1, 1, after 1 cycle, it will become 0, 1. That I have shown here for the state 1, 1. After 1 cycle, it will go to 0, 1. Similarly, 0, 1 will go to 1, 0, which I have drawn here. 1, 0 will go to 1, 1. And 0, 0 will remain there only, 0, 0 itself, as shown here. So this is the state transition diagram. You can see that if the state is any of these, it will just cycle between these 3. And if the initial state is 0, 0, then it will just keep on showing 0, 0 only. Now let's go to the question. They are saying that before the first clock cycle, it is set to 1. So initially it will be 1, 1. After 1 clock cycle, it will be 0, 1. After 2 clock cycles, it will be 1, 0. After 3 clock cycles, it will be 1, 1. and after 4 clock cycle it will become 0 1, as you can see here. So the answer is 1 1 and 0 1. Third cycle 1 1, fourth cycle 0 1. So the right answer is option B.